Hi, everyone. My name is Jodi. Today, we're going to do tips and tidbits. The way tips and tidbits works, it's things that come to my head in the past month, something that I think is worth sharing with other travel agents. If you've not been on my tips and tidbits before, make sure that you have pen and paper because I do go sort of fast through some things. Um, if you have been on my tips and tidbits before, I hope that you at least walk away learning one thing or remembering something, like putting it to the forefront of your mind. Uh, I will answer questions that are put in the chat box. Just make sure they're put in the chat box, but they have to pertain to what I spoke about. This is not a booking Q&A or anything like that. It's only questions based on what I've spoken about. So there's no rhyme or reason. So let's get started. This is a big one. And whenever I do this, I always wonder how many agents do this. So if you ever book transfers for clients that are not associated with Vax or Vacation Express or something, like you're booking the transfer separate than their hotel and everything. It's not part of a package. You need to put on your calendar to make sure that you know if the flights change at all. So what I do is just say I book somebody. I just booked somebody. I forget where, and I did their transfer separate. So I put a month prior to when they're traveling, what the time, date, airline, all of that is. All right, who's muting me there, Joanne Tingle? Um, so I put it on my, that's good because I need to regroup. I put it on my calendar with all the information about a month prior to their travel. And the reason why I put it there is because I need to make sure that if their flights have changed, their flight time, their flight, anything about the flight, I let the transfer know. Now, normally the transfers will follow the flight, like just say it's flight 1162, they'll follow that. But what if the flight number changes to like 1141? They won't know that. So I also do it if a client will book their own flight. So I ask the client for the confirmation code and I ask them for their flight information, because if they're not going to always tell me if their flight times have changed, their flight number has changed. So whenever you are booking transfers that are not part of a package with the air, you need to make sure that does that make sense? You have to make sure that you put the air information. So basically, if you're going to book a hotel and air separately and transfer separately. But if you are booking a package with air, transfers, and hotel all in one, you don't need to worry, because if you're booking that through Vax or Vacation Express, they will update their transfer company. But if you are not doing it all together, then you need to do that, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, okay, so I actually just booked transfers for my friend's son. He did not book through me. He's a college kid, booked on his own. So I did the transfers and I have it on my calendar to let the transfer company know if anything changes. A lot of my clientele comes from Facebook, a lot. And a lot of it is from people posting they're looking for a travel agent. What I advise all of you is to have something on your phone written, or have a flyer. I can actually show you. Let me show you my flyer. So I have this flyer done. So when somebody asks looking for somebody, I will, and not saying this is Rachel Brown did a great job, did this for me. This will take them right to my Calendly link so they can sign up for a call. But basically, I have it written exactly what I say. Hi, I'm a travel agent specializing in island and all-inclusive vacations, cruises, as well as European vacations. I will now say there is no fee to use my services. There used to be a fee, but now I've dropped it. And then I show my photo. So you want to have that handy, so that way if somebody writes something, you can actually answer it right away. So I have something on my phone written. I have that. So that way, because a lot of times people are looking for travel agents. So you have that ready. Or if you're tagged, that Jodi Wariski, JZW Travel, is a great travel agent, I have that flyer ready. How many of you guys here have terms and conditions? Put a 1 in the chat box if you have terms and conditions. Put a 2 if you do not. Everybody should have terms and conditions. So when I first started, I did not. Probably a couple years into it, I had terms and conditions, and I put it on I use Travify, and I put it on um, my credit card authorization form. So when they signed it, it's on there. I did personally just pay for an attorney to help me with my terms and conditions. And I actually have them on my website. So when I have somebody want to work with me, I have an agreement form that they have to sign. And on there, it has the link for my terms and conditions. But definitely, guys, you really should be thinking about having some terms and conditions, whether it's you can charge a fee if somebody cancels with you, that you're not responsible for, nature, all of those type of things. Millie, you can Google, you can see what other travel agents do, you can have an attorney. I'm not giving mine out, but just something to think about. Look into terms and conditions. When I first started, I asked another agent for hers, and I made it my own. But then, like I said, I did pay for an attorney to do terms and conditions for me and help my workflow a little bit. Quotes. I see some agents will say, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Somebody is trying to get onto the Zoom for the builders and she cannot. Okay. So for quotes, I see a lot of people write, I gave 10 quotes, or I gave this, or I gave that. Different, sorry. Okay. And what, oh, okay, I'll answer this real quick. Where do I place my terms and conditions? Like I said, I used to have it on my credit card authorization form. I think I still do have it. But I also do an agreement form that somebody has to sign with me before they work with me, and it's on there. Would I still suggest having terms and conditions if I have an LLC? Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So I see a lot of agents giving out a lot of quotes, and I'm this person's running me ragged. They're doing this, they're doing that. Have boundaries. So what I tell my clients is I will only give 3 quotes. I tell them when I talk to them, I can give you some ideas of places that are within your budget, and I can give you about 5 to 10. So I will maybe send an email with about 5 to 10. I tell the hotels maybe a little bit about it. And I will go and like hyperlink to the hotel's website. I tell them that they can choose no more than 3, and I will give them a quote. Or I can pick my top 3 and I will give a quote. Which would they prefer? I do not give more than 3 quotes. I actually gave 4 a long time ago, and that was a lot. But usually I narrow it down. Most people will narrow it down between 1 and 3. So if I'm doing Europe, I don't do it that way. But if I do resorts, but you have to have your boundaries and tell them when you're talking to them on the phone how you work. And so I tell them at that point, I only give 3 quotes. If somebody comes back to me and they want more, I could probably say to them, I need to charge you a fee if you want that. Okay, so have your boundaries. Say, be specific when you're talking to your clients of how you work. It's your business. It's not their business. It's your business. Natasha, now I do have an LLC as of January 1. I did not before that. So I started in 2020. I did not have an LLC until this year. And the main reason that I went with LLC is because since my husband stopped working, I'm the sole provider, and my business has really done well. I decided to do an LLC. The other thing I do not book outside the country without travel protection. I don't ask them, do you want it? I don't book without it. So if I'm going to do vax for resorts or even vax for Europe, I just automatically add it. I automatically add the travel credit, because if you do the travel credit one, they're going to come back to you and book again because they have that travel credit if they cancel. If I'm doing, like I just did a Kensington Tours, and their travel protection is quite high, so I gave them an Allianz quote. So, but I never ever book somebody outside the country without travel protection. And the only times I will, sometimes somebody will say my credit card has it, or I have annual or something like that. And I'm not going to answer that. This is not a booking Q&A. I'm only answering questions pertaining to what I've gone over. Okay. Who here, I'm going to say, who here does not know about Sandals 777? Put a 3 in the chat box. Oh, no, put a 7 in the chat box if you do not know. Oh, people. Now, if you are new and you can't get into Sandals right now, that's different. But every Wednesday, every single Wednesday, 777s come out, and they go until the next Tuesday. It is, so I go into regular Sandals. I don't go into the Sandals travel agent portal for this. I go into regular Sandals. I go to specials, 777 offer. So today it's going to end. Now it's going to end in 9 hours. So forget this. On Wednesdays, it's a great thing to put on your calendar. They will pick 7 resorts, 7% off, 7 rooms. Okay. Or 7 days, 7% off, 7 rooms. Okay. So, like you can go and look, let's find one. Like if they want Royal Plantation, this is a Butler suite, 382. Now all of Royal Plantation are Butler suites, but it gives you some rooms. Like I had somebody who wanted, and they also have it for beaches as well, not just Sandals. I had somebody who wanted beaches really badly last year in 2024. It was too expensive. I booked them for 2025 on a 777, and I got them a room that normally is much more expensive. So definitely look out for these deals. They're a great thing to offer to your clients or to post on social media. Okay, so 777. Some of you would have some, like my BDM actually. So we have Lance Weinhart, who is BDM for all of Archer, but then we have, yeah, I was going to say, then we also have our regular BDMs who should email you. If you do not get an email from a regular BDM, then you can look on your, I think you can look on your, on your Sandals travel agent portal. I'll show you where you can find it. Because since we are national accounts, the local BDMs might not know about us. So you have to double check with your Founders Council or your Platinum to make sure you can reach out to your BDM before you do. That's Archer's rule. But if you go into the portal, it tells you who your BDM is, and you can reach out to them and say, could you put me on your distribution list? Okay. All right. BDM, Business Development Manager. Is that room types? So it's 7 different rooms at different resorts for 7 days, 7% off. And it changes every Wednesday. Okay. All right. Sandals does have travel agent training that you can do. All right. When I also do a quote for, sorry, give me 1 second. This person keeps texting me. Let me just tell her. Just say. She's saying me. Okay. Shared versus private transfers. When I will go and do a package for a client, I do not even offer shared transfers. I will always offer the private, unless for some reason the private's super expensive. I think on might be Turks or the Caymans, one of them, it's really super expensive. But for like if I'm doing Mexico, Punta Cana, Jamaica, something like that, I will actually remove the share transfers and add private without asking my clients. The only time I will use shared if I'm really dealing with a budget client, but with shared transfers, what it means is they could be waiting up to 30 minutes at the airport for other people, and they could stop at, I believe, 2 to 3 other resorts before going to theirs. So I just add private to begin with. Now, if you have 4 people, if you have 2 people, private will be more than the shared. If you have 4 people, sometimes it's actually cheaper to do private than the shared. So when you're in Vax and you do private, you could do private deluxe, which I don't do. That's like getting the nice SUVs, or you could get just regular private. I just do the regular private. So, okay. So Missy, you have to ask your platinum consultant or your founders council who was above you to see if you can reach out to your BDM. And you want to ask your BDM to be put on their distribution list so that you get their emails. All right. Virgin Voyages. Who here has been on a Virgin Voyages cruise? Put a 3 in the chat box if you have. Anyone? Anyone? Nobody? I knew Cindy. Okay, Charlotte. Yeah, we got a couple. Who here has taken advantage of their My Next Virgin Voyages? All right, so this is for you guys who are going on your first ones. They cost $150. Oh, wait a second. Let me go and share. Because I was just on, you're allowed to purchase 4. And I just purchased 4. But what I did, and I'll show this to you in a second. Okay. So what it is you can purchase on board for yourself or for your clients. You pay $150 while on board. You have to do it while you're on board. You have 2 years. They've changed it again. When I first did it, it was 2 years. It was a lot more money that you would save, but it was 2 years. Then they went and said you had to book it within 6 months or 60 days. I'm sorry. Now they've gone back to 2 years. So you can purchase these and you have 2 years to book it. They have to sail within those 2 years as well. So if you put $150 down, you get $150 credit discount. I'm sorry. If your sailor is 4 to 5 nights, and $150 onboard credit. If the cruise is 6 to 8 nights, they receive a $200 discount and $200 on board. And 9 nights or longer, $250 discount and $250 on board. So how it works, you can only go and change it once. I actually found out the hard way what you can do. So I bought 4. Before I went, I actually asked my clients, I put it on my thing, does anybody want, my clients as well as my friends, want me to purchase one for them? I had 2 people interested. One is a client already. One has not been a client, but they follow my page. So they both had to Venmo me $150. I came back with 2 more, so 2 not sold. I'm going to keep 1 for myself. Even though they have TA rates, I still like to keep 1 for myself. And then I just sold 1 the other day. So the person sent me the 150. They are actually doing a 10-night cruise. So they saved on it as well as got a nice onboard credit with it as well. Here's my mistake. So when you get the My Next Virgin Voyages, they do teach you how you can do it yourself in the portal. I like to call somebody. That's just me. I'd rather do that. So I did. I switched the client, put it in their name. Everything was great. Well, the problem is once it was booked and I went to change their cabin, because their cabin was an XL, there was only cabins on deck 8 and deck 14. And deck 14 is below deck 15, where there's a lot of stuff going on, and deck 8 is above the manor. They didn't want that. So they wanted to switch their cabin type. The problem is you're not allowed to switch your cabin type. You're not allowed to make any changes after that one change. I ended up getting it changed. They didn't charge me. It was all good, but now I know for the future. But basically with the My Next Virgin Voyages, go in, purchase 4 of them, try and sell them to clients. The one thing that they ask you not to do not post into Facebook groups that you have this extra, you can post it on your own Facebook group for your clients, but don't post it into other ones. But if you can spend $600, you can get 4 different clients from that. And that's a great little thing to give to your clients. So just something to think about. I do know that you can also get, you know, on Royal, you can do stuff and things like that. I'm not as familiar with those, but for Virgin, I do know. So I always go in purchasing. In fact, when I purchased it, it was $300 in January 2024. It was $300 per, and they were changing it as of February 1st. So I bought 10 of them. So I spent 3,000. I was shocked. My husband's like, just do it. And I sold 8 of them, and I used 2 for ourselves. I mentioned earlier that I made the decision to eliminate my fee. What led to this? So what led to it was I had a fee for during COVID up through December 31st for anybody new. A lot of people in my area do not charge fees. And so I'm getting tagged a lot, and other people are getting tagged and they're saying they don't charge fees. So I decided I'm going to try not to do it and see what happens. And I did it, and I booked, I guess, as of, I think I had 30 quotes in January, and I booked 23. I had 2 no's, and I'm still working on some. So I wanted to see if it worked out. So I just decided I'm going to take a gamble, but that's the beauty of owning your own business. You can always go back and switch it around as well. All right. ALG Vacations. So we all know about Vax, but ALG Vacations, you can also go to algvacations.com, which is also like Vax. They have a chat button there, though, that you can use. Let's see if I can go into it real quick to show you. And the reason I'm showing this to you, I had something happen. Oh, there was going to be a big snowstorm a couple weeks ago. And so I needed to talk to somebody, but I was getting on a plane myself. So I called, I got disconnected. I called again. A little later, I got disconnected. So I'm actually on the plane, and I'm like, I need help. So I'm going to just try and do the chat button. So if you go to support up in the top, you go down here, right here in the bottom, and you can either phone or you can do this button. So when you begin the session, it'll ask you if you want to do a chat. It comes up, start a chat or send an email. So that's how you can connect with ALG. So if you don't want to call and stay on hold or anything like that, you can actually do a chat right there. So that's a good thing to know with when you're booking through Vax. You just go to algvacations.com and you can do it that way. Okay. All right. Good, good, good. YouTube. If you don't have a YouTube channel, get one. So basically, I post on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Sorry, I'm going to just mute everyone out as far as the background. Instagram, TikTok, but I also do YouTube. And what I like to do on YouTube are room tours. So a lot of times if you're going to do, you know, you're on a cruise and you want to do a cabin tour or something like that, it's a great thing to put on YouTube, because if you ever search for something, a lot of times YouTube videos come up. So don't discount YouTube as well. Okay. All right. This is a big one. Guys, when you are booking through a third party, they would, and then the clients go and see their tickets for their flights. So my name is Jodi Allison Wariski. My passport is Jodi A. Wariski. So on my tickets, on my boarding tickets, it's Jodi A. combined. So I just had somebody whose last name is Gillespie, and he's Gillespie Jr. So I had his name as ... Gillespie Jr. Well, when I booked it, it was booked separate. I have Gillespie space Jr. When it gets to American, Gillespie and Jr. are put together. The person contacted me. Oh my gosh, she was all upset. It needs to be changed. No, it doesn't. When first and middle names are put together, or last and suffixes are put together, it's okay, as long as you enter it correctly. When it's brought over, it's just the way the systems work with the airlines. So make sure you enter the first, enter the middle, enter the last, enter any suffix separately. But if it's put together, it is okay. So your clients might freak out about that, just so you know. The one thing is I did just have somebody with a suffix, and when they have their American Advantage number, he did not have a suffix. So I called American, and the woman actually said, you don't need to put suffixes. Well, I like to put whatever's on the passport. So I did not agree with her. But I was able to talk to the reservation team, and they were, or whoever I talked to, it was actually through Advantage, AA Advantage. They were able to sort of bypass the system and put his number in there, even though it didn't have the suffix. So if you ever have issues where they can't enter their frequent flyer number, you just call and they will enter it for you. Okay, but put their names exactly as on the passports. If the clients see that the boarding pass shows first and last name together or last name and suffix together, it is okay. All right. In fact, what I did is I sent her, I Googled and I found Hopper had an article about that, and I sent that to her and it made her feel better. Put a 1 in the chat if you use Craigslist at all for booking or for building. Put 1 in the chat box. I didn't think many people would. So when I was going from silver to gold back in 2020, I knew that I needed to use all my resources. So I did pay for Craigslist ads for building. You also can use Craigslist for posting about travel if you'd like. And it's very cheap. So you can go down to services. You can go to travel vacation. You can go here to post. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a service offered. And right here is travel vacation services, $5. I can do an ad for $5. Just something to think about. I'm not saying you have to do it, but that's one thing that you could do if you wanted. And then also when you're doing it for jobs, you can go into jobs, sales, post an ad. So with this, if you're doing job offered, or I think they actually say gig offered now. Give me a second. Gig offered. Gig offered is, I want to hire someone. Let's see what that shows. I never saw gigs. Okay, so that's not the same type of thing. So you would do job offered. And when you do job offered, it depends where you're going. So like here, it's $35. That's Philadelphia, but I want to change it to, let's go with something smaller. Let's say Eastern Montana. Let's do a post. Job offered, $10. Now, granted, when you're going to do $10, it's going to be smaller area. Philadelphia is a larger area, so that's why. But you can go and you can do, I like to do it under sales, and you can do a job posting there on LinkedIn, on Craigslist. So if you're looking for builders. Okay, so are you asking if I got many clients from Craigslist? It helped me get to gold. So yes, I did. I didn't do clients. I'm sorry. I did not do it for travel, but I know that you can. It used to be free for travel. So I did do a couple, but now you have to pay for it. Most of my clients honestly come from Facebook and LinkedIn, but it's just another avenue. When you start here, we always talk about Evo Plus. You can get instant commissions with Evo Plus, but also book cruises. Cruises usually pay in advance, not always, but usually. Virgin pays quite a few months in advance. Royal Celebrity usually pay at least the month before they cruise, but that's another thing to do. If you want money in your hand ahead of time, look into cruising, look into selling cruises. Client special dates, birthdays, anniversary. I put it on the calendar as soon as I find out about them, and I put it on annually. So, I have clients who I may not have booked for 2 years, but I will go and I will send them an email, a text, whatever, happy birthday. Some people send cards. I have too many clients, so I don't. I did look into possibly doing that through a third-party service. but send them a happy birthday, thinking of you, whatever. I ended up just getting 2 new clients because I did reach out to somebody, wish them a happy birthday, and I think I was in their mind, and they gave me 2 clients, and I haven't booked for them since 2023. So put any birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that on your calendar annually so you know to wish them a happy birthday. A lot of people ask me about complimentary amenities and how I do that. So this is talking about resorts usually. No, I shouldn't say that. I also do it for Europe. About 2 weeks in advance. Oh, sorry, Charlene. Where do I save the information? Oh, I do on Google Calendar. That's what I do. So on my Google Calendar, I don't. I use Travefy, and yes, I could do it automated, but I don't want to do automated because I don't want it sounding the same all the time. But I could do it. I could definitely do automated. But like for me with Google Calendar, I just had. I think Jackie's was yesterday. Where was it? I just had a birthday. Where was? Oh, right here. So I do it in pink, so I know that the person it's pink for when it's somebody's birthday or anniversary. Okay. So for complimentary amenities, about 2 weeks before a client travels, I will send to a sales or concierge or something. I try and find the information. And people are going to say, how do you find the information? Different ways. I might Google it. I might, like for inclusive collection, we can go into Hyatt inclusive collection and it actually has resources. You know, different ways you can find the information, or sometimes you just email info@at the hotel. And I basically email them and say, my client's coming to stay with you during these dates. By any chance, would you be able to give them a complimentary amenity on my behalf with a note from me? And so I have a note on paper. My note is, oh, here it is. Just something simple. I just have my logo at the top and I just wish them a wonderful time. And that way the place can just print it out if they want. And I ask them to send a complimentary amenity with a note from me. So if they say yes, then I say, great, here's the note. Thank you so much. Sometimes they'll say, no, you have to pay for it. I'll be like, oh, by any chance, could it be complimentary? And if they say no, that's fine. I move on. Here's the thing. My accountant doesn't give me a gift. My insurance agent doesn't give me a gift, like all these things. You don't have to give your clients gifts. It's nice if they're free and you can send it. Now, if somebody spends a lot of money, that's different. I might pay for it. Like I had clients at Beaches Turks. I thought about sending them something through Beaches. I ended up giving them a big gift bag of different things for their trip. So like towel clips and some floats and things like that. I gave into some cups that say JZW Travel, things like that I gave. But sometimes, don't stress about the complimentary amenity. If you can get it, great. If you can't, no big deal. No big deal. Waves rewards. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know about Waves rewards. Cynthia, I don't have an opinion on that. When's a good time to change your business model to an LLC? I don't. I mean, for 6 years I didn't have one, so I don't have an answer on that one. Okay, so of these people who wrote a 2, put a 3 in the chat if you book with Vax. Okay. When you've had your first deposit with Vax, you would have gotten an email to register for Waves Agent Rewards. Okay. If you, wait, I'll go out of this in a second. So here are points, and here you can convert these to a Visa gift card. You don't have to do anything other than registering for Waves. Everything else is automatic once you book with Apple Travel Impressions, FunJet, Blue Sky Tours, or United Vacations. If you don't know about this, you're leaving money on the table. There's also leaderboards. I made the top 1,000 this past year for the first time ever. That's a Waves maker, I think, or something like that. But Audrey Plunkett on our team, in Evolution, she was, I think, number 25 out of all the agents all over. So that's pretty cool. But it's money that you can get and convert to a Visa gift card. I do it every December 1st. I convert it over, and that's how I pay for a lot of my kids' gifts. Okay, so let me log out of here to see one thing. So, okay, after completing your first Vax booking with payment, you should receive an email within 2 business days. If you don't, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is who you contact. Does it work with Universal on Vax? I don't know the answer to that. But I mean, anytime you book on, I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I would think so, but maybe not because it's ALG. So it might just be those that I named. Okay. So don't leave money on the table, guys. Don't leave money on the table. And also, I'm going to actually put this, oh gosh, I can't minimize. I forgot. I'm going to put this in the chat too. Jodi. I'm going to put this in the chat on here. This is here. I have some information here, but I also have some reward programs. Some of them might not be good anymore. But these are a bunch of rewards. So that way you can get a lot of free night stays or money or something like that. So once you do a booking, make sure that if there is a rewards program. So Apple Leisure Group, or ALG, sorry, I've been told by Susan Creighton, it's no longer Apple Leisure Group, ALG and Vax. Vax is a booking engine. ALG is those FunJet, Travel Impressions, United Vacations, Blue Sky, and the 5th one I'm forgetting. Why am I forgetting it? Apple. So they're those brands. Vax is a booking engine for them. That's all it is. Yes, I am recording this. Okay. All right. Viator. When you are booking something on Viator, by the way, if you look, they have a 10% off through February 27th, I think, that just came out today. And I just booked somebody today. So, but 10% off that we can give to our clients. We still get paid on the full amount, which is great. But when you are doing the commission tracking form, Viator has BR dash. It's like, let me actually show you. So the booking, it's right here, BR dash. When you are entering on your commission tracking form, do not put the BR, only put these numbers. I heard from some people when we moved over to the commissions hub that you put the BR. I actually went and asked the commission department and they said, no, do not put the BR. When you are putting this in to commission tracking, you only put the numbers after the BR. Charlene, there's a lot to learn, and this is probably going to confuse you even more, but I highly recommend getting on as many booking Q&As as you can, and you will keep learning. You will keep learning. And we also have new agent orientations, but little by little, little by little. Remember, we are all in your place and we've all gotten past there. Except the difference between you and me, I dealt with this and COVID. I started when COVID shut the world down. So, but remember, you can get past it. On this, did I not put it in here? Yeah, on this document that I gave, the Google Doc, I have a traveler feedback form with links. When somebody responds to my traveler feedback and they might give me a quote or give me some photos and give me, it actually will say, do you, let's see. Oh, I lost you guys. I lost you. Give me a second. All right, share. All right, on here. So I actually do it on Travefy now, but I don't know why I don't have Travefy. I have my Google review link. I have my travel leaders link. I have my Facebook link. So they can go and click on one of them easily. I also have on here a short testimonial, any photos, and would you allow JCW to use the photos? If they say yes, and they write a testimonial, but they don't have photos, and I like the testimonial, I'll put something pretty on Canva and I'll post it on my Facebook and my LinkedIn and my Instagram. If they use photos, I'll use that and put their quote of what they said and just thank them. Always use information from your clients that you can use on social media. It really helps. All right. It will be in all the chats or all like Evolution Enterprise and everything. I will post it there. Yes, I'm going to say one thing about it. It is overwhelming. When you start 100%, it's overwhelming. There's a lot to learn. People come in and think, oh, I book travel on my own. I can do this. There is a lot to learn. However, that being said, if you have the mindset, I can do this, you will be successful. If you have the mindset, it's overwhelming, I can't do this, you will not be successful. End of story. And what Millie just said, we can do it. That's what you have to remember. You have a whole company to help you. My mentor did not help me, not her fault. She did not want a team build. I went to her because the person blew me off who brought me to the call. And she's in my hometown, and I reached out to her. Everything I did was because I jumped on trainings. I asked questions. I would follow people who I really like their trainings and to learn from them. I asked questions of other people. You have a whole team to help you, and go to in-person events if you can. Go to in-person events. Okay. No, I booked 283 or 284. My big month was last February with 323. Believe me, that's not normal for me. Normally I am about, I'd say 85,000 a month. So you guys all probably saw this in Evolution Enterprises or Rising Tide or something like that in the Facebook groups. The recorded session will be there. It will also be on my YouTube. And if you look at my Google form, my YouTube is on there. About $85,000. So the bookings were usually 85,000. Okay, let's go back. When I first started, and I've talked about this before, now I ask for reviews. When I first started, I would always ask for reviews up front. Now I ask for when they return from travel. The reason why I asked up front, I booked travel for somebody. Hey, would you write a review for me? So I build up the reviews up front. So that's a good thing to ask anybody when you're first starting out that you booked for them, to ask them for a review. Okay. Something I do send to my clients, I will send luggage tags with the note. So if they book with me and it's I'm making at least $300 or more, I just order luggage tags on Vistaprint, nothing fancy. Actually, I'll show you one. This is messed up one, but just something like that. That's all it is, a luggage tag. I put it in a note with a note. I put it in a bag with a note card, and I mail it to my clients, or I drop it off if they live locally. A handwritten note goes a long way. So I do that usually about 2 weeks prior to them traveling. If they've booked with me another time, they booked with me a couple times, it's a big booking, I will send them like a Yeti type thing that says JZW Travel on it. So it's great marketing for when they're at those resorts. They've got my JZW Travel cup. I've also, I went to like a farmer's market and I saw really cute candles. So I purchased 6 of them. In fact, I'm just purchasing 6 more this weekend. And she put my logo on the candle and called it Sea and Soul, and wrote a little something about it, about travel. So that's another little gift that I give people. I also give referral gifts. So I live in the Philly area. Wawa is big here. So I might give a Wawa gift card or a Starbucks gift card, only about $10, not much. Or if somebody refers, I actually have one of my candles I'm going to drop off to a client as a little thank you. So you don't have to spend a lot, but it's nice to thank your clients and thank who referred them as well. Okay. How to hold a booking. If you are in VAX and you want to hold a booking, if you go to email print itinerary, I think is what it says on the side, it will say the deposit due date. So if the deposit due date is just say tomorrow or in 3 days, you can hold that booking without a credit card. So what I do when I talk to my clients, my first phone call, I say, I'm going to send you a form. It's an agreement form to work with me. I'm also going to send you a form to upload your passports or driver's license if it's within the US. If it's within the US, you have to tell them real ID or valid passport, because if it's just a regular ID, that won't work. They need real ID or passport. And I tell them the reason why I ask for those up front is because sometimes, not always, I can hold a trip for you at a day at no charge. But if I contact you and you're away for the weekend and you say, I'll get you that information when I get back on Monday, the price of the trip may have gone up. So I explain that to them. So I always ask for that information up front. That way, if I give them, sometimes I don't even tell them I'm putting it on hold. If I know that they're looking at a certain resort and I know they want an oceanfront room, I might just put it on hold and say, hey, I have this on hold for you. If you don't want to book it, no problem, but I just want to put it on hold and lock in a price. How do you put it on hold? You fill out everything that is needed on VAX except the credit card information. At the very bottom, there's like a terms and conditions or something that you click and hit book, confirm, whatever it is. As long as the deposit is not due that day, you are able to hold that room that way. Okay. Jamaica. Any clients going to Jamaica, I don't ask them. I add on Club Mo Bay, arrive on departure. What is Club Mo Bay? It is a fast track through immigration. So it's a fast track through immigration. It costs $85 round trip for arrival and departure per client, per person. On the way back, it's also a fast track, but you also get a lounge. In the lounge, you can get drinks, including alcohol, food, everything included. So I don't know about you, but I've been to airports. In fact, I think Chance posted something that he spent like 25 bucks on like some burger or something when he was in Nashville airport. Club Mobay, Mobay. So if you are booking through Vax, through Vacation Express, through anything like that, you would go and add it on there. If you are booking somewhere else and it's not offered under features, then you can book it through Viator. It is not offered all the time because it does sell out. So if you have a client who wants it, or like I said, I don't even ask them. I just add it. I add it at time of booking. Okay. So highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you are if you've done the Jamaican One Love Rewards training yourself and you yourself go to Jamaica, I think it costs 1,000 points. So you've had to have bookings. You can actually get what's called a meet and greet with the Jamaican Tourism Board, and they will walk you even quicker than Mobay through this. And I think if I'm correct, you can do it for if somebody's getting married or something like that. Go to oneloverewards.com and you should be able to see it there. And so, okay, I'm not going to answer that about Korea because this is not a booking Q&A, guys. Okay, this is just questions on what I've talked about. But with Club Mobay or with Jamaica meet and greet, they will also give you can get half price Club Mobay on the way back for yourself. This is just for yourself and one companion. That's it. Okay. But you have had to have bookings and earned points to be able to do that. It used to be free. Now they charge you points. So TripAdvisor and Google, especially new people, they should be your best friends. TripAdvisor and Google. One of my pet peeves is when a agent says, all right, I have clients who want to go to Cancun. What are your favorite resorts? No, not going to answer you. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to answer you. I don't know budget. I don't know anything about your clients. Do they like party resorts? Do they like quiet resorts? What do they like? I don't know if they have kids. I don't know anything about what you just said. I cannot give you my favorites in Cancun because it depends on your clients. So what I always tell my agents, narrow down to 3 or 4 resorts, tell us a little bit about your clients, and then we'll tell you our favorites. You have to do the work, guys. We are researchers. You have to put the work in. So when I first started, I would go on Google, check flights, what's nonstop from Philadelphia. I had no clue what was nonstop from Philadelphia. And I do show this all the time, but I'm going to show this again because this is a really good, I love this little tip. So if you go to Google Explore, okay, and I want to go Philadelphia to the Caribbean. I don't want to do 1 week trip in the next 6 months. I want specific dates. These people want to travel May 2nd through the 9th. Okay. I'm going to go to stops and I'm going to put nonstop. It's going to tell me where my clients can go nonstop because my clients don't want a layover. So Google Explore is a great option to figure out where from your home airport, where they can fly either nonstop or one stop. Okay, it's a great tool to use. But go into TripAdvisor. When I first started, I knew nothing about any resorts at all. Nothing. I would read reviews. Now you have to really read the reviews because you might get some first 2 reviews are they didn't refund me my money. Well, that has nothing to do with what I'm looking for. So TripAdvisor, play around with Vax when you're new, play around and book some things, do mock bookings, just try things out, but you really need to do the research. Well, Missy, it's going to be quicker coming in this time because half of Montego Bay is not opened. So, and South Coast is not open. So that's why it was quick because half of the resorts are still not open in Jamaica. Cynthia, I'll answer that at the end if I have some time. Okay. It's always safe to sell Jamaica. Right now, there's a lot of resorts in Montego Bay and South Coast not open, but I've always felt safe in Jamaica. In fact, they lowered it from a 3 to a 2. So, okay, Vacation Express. So when I first started, who here got confused between Vacation Access, and Vacation Express? Because I definitely did. Vacation Express, they have a reduced deposit option for travel, reduced deposit option. So Vax's deposits are usually cheaper because you don't have to pay for your flights in full. Vacation Express, their deposits are higher because you do have to pay for your flights in full. However, they have a reduced deposit option. And I did it one time and it comes up with a box. And I was like, okay, that's it. I didn't care. I did not read it. I should have read it. So basically, my client went and canceled, but they did not make their full payment of their flight. So if I would have called it in to cancel, maybe I would have found that out. So basically, if you do a reduced deposit, the client only puts down their reduced deposit and nothing else. Okay, let me figure out how to explain this. And the flights are not paid in full and the client cancels, they will not get any money back or any trip credit back, even if you have travel protection. So my clients were out $700 and I was very upset because I blamed myself for not reading the fine print. My clients were great about it. I sent them $100 Amazon gift card and I just felt horrible. So if you are going to use the reduced deposit, please know that if they have the travel protection, they are not going to get anything from it until the flights are paid in full. So if in hindsight, what I would have told my clients, pay the difference of the flights and then I'll cancel for you and then you'll get that credit. Their travel protection, I don't love it as much. Their travel protection for cancel for travel credit, it's a credit with the airline and it's a land credit. So the credit with the airline, if I'm correct, is from 1 year from when you booked it. When you cancel for travel credit with Vax, you get the travel credit of everything that you paid for minus the cost of the travel protection, and you have 13 months to use it from the day you cancel. So if you are going to go with Vax, or I'm sorry, with Vacation Express, and you do their travel credit, just know that if they cancel, their flight is only good, the travel credit, from a year from when they booked it. So to avoid that, you can do cash back with Vacation Express, and then everything's easier. People ask how to do Rail in Europe. If you sign up for Rail Europe, you can get commissions on it. One plug for Mexico, you can get an affiliate link if you reach out to them, Living Dreams Mexico. They do great private and semi-private tours. Great. I mean, the owner of the company is wonderful. I highly recommend them. If you want to do private or semi-private, contact them for your affiliate link. I don't love their affiliate link, to be quite honest, but I usually contact them to book for me. And the last thing I'm going to say, for if you ever have somebody traveling and they are, I believe it's under 16 or 16 and under, and they are a minor without traveling with both parents or either of their parents, you need to tell your clients to get a notarized letter, to write a notarized letter saying, so like my brother did not go to London with my sister-in-law and my nephew. So my brother had to write a letter that he gave permission for Karen to leave the country with Jay, and wrote it. You have to get it notarized, and she had to bring it with her. Okay. So make sure you tell your clients, because you don't want them getting to the airport if mom and kid want to go travel and the dad's not there and they don't let mom and kid go. I'm not saying they won't let them go, but they might not let them go. Okay. So how do you know what letter? I just Googled.
What country was that?
Oh, give me one second. How do I share my affiliate links? I have them posted on my Facebook business page. I sometimes share them. Let me see, where's my Facebook business page? So if you go here, I have all my links right here. I also have them on I paid for my website to be done. So I also have them under Book Now. So that's what I do. Some people will actually share it in Facebook groups as well. So what's your question, Latrice?
Oh, sorry. I was wondering if you could tell us again, what country was those you were talking about, the kids, if they only travel with one parent?
Anytime a minor leaves the US to fly somewhere else out of the country, they without both their parents or one of their parents, they need a notarized letter. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go one last question and then I will be done. What would I say has been the biggest contributing factors to my overall success? Consistency. Bottom line. I'm consistent in what I do. I write a list every night. The next day, I'm at my desk first thing in the morning. I work my full hours. I actually put my hours on Facebook. So I know 8 to 6, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when I'm working, 8 to 5 Thursday, 8 to 3 on Friday. Not saying I don't work after that, but I'm not open to emails or, to be quite honest, I know you shouldn't say this, but for my agents as well as my clients, unless they ask me to specifically meet with them after that time. I'm consistent. When my first year, I posted on social media every single day. I joined 5 to 7 Facebook groups a day. I posted every single day. When I say every day, I don't mean 5 days a week and then I took a few days off and then I did it 3 days next week. Every single day I posted into Facebook groups. I shared either mock bookings. I introduced myself. I still every day will post into Facebook groups. My husband and I just had this conversation because I am beyond swamped. And I'm like, do we cut back on networking? Do I cut back on posting on social media? But here's the thing. If I cut back from either of those, my name's not at the top of people's lists or their mind or whatever. So my husband now does a lot of the networking, but I do networking too. Every Monday I do a mom's networking, a mompreneurs. He would go, but he's not allowed. But I'm consistent. I show up for networking every month. I will go to at least, even though he does a lot of them, I will try to go to one of every one he does. Like, so if he goes weekly on a Friday, I will show up at least one Friday. I show up on the Mondays for the mompreneurs. I show up for happy hours, things like that. I'm consistent with my posting. I am consistent with looking on social media. I will scroll. That's why I said one of my very first things is have something ready to respond, because I will always be looking and somebody will say, I'm looking for a travel agent, and I will put my information right in there. So just consistency. I mentioned travel protection. I usually do Vax or Vacation Express or something like that. I usually do that for some Europe ones that are not Vax or something like that. I will use Allianz usually. Yeah, medical directives as well. So usually what I tell them in their letter for giving them authorization to leave the country, also for any medical. So hello, Julie Shaw. Thank you, Cynthia. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I always like this. Okay, here's my question. This is what I always want to know. I want to know, what's the one thing that you learned that was most important to you, if you could put in the chat. And I want to know, for people who've been on this before, have you learned something new? If you could put that in the chat. Is it different? So I do this once a month. It's sometimes different, sometimes the same. I try and recycle some. I can only come up with so many new things each month. Yes, boundaries always. Okay, good. All right, good. Oh, wow. Good. And guys, if you learned something from it, like I said, I'm going to go and put my recording on social media, like on a evolution page later. Let people know, let your teams know that they should jump on these if they can. Okay. All right, guys. I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.
You too.
Thanks.